Hello, my name is Pullein and thank you very much for watching this episode of my Productivity Mastery series. Now, today I want to talk to you about the differences between processing and doing. Now, this is a problem I've seen a lot of people have over the last few months actually, where what they start to do is they start to process their inbox, and as they're processing, they start doing. Now, the problem usually starts because of what's called in GTD speak, the 2-minute rule. Now, the 2-minute rule essentially means that if a task or job can be done in 2 minutes or less, do it now. Now, on a normal day, that principle does generally work. The problem is if you've got, let's take for example email, because email is a really good example of this. If you wake up in the morning, you get to your office, you see your email and you've got 100 emails in there. I can tell you right now, you have no time to use the 2-minute rule. The goal here is to get those 100 emails processed. Now, if you can fly through that, making the decisions about what something is, what action, if any, you need to take and where you need to put that email, if that's your only focus, you could easily do that in 15 to 20 minutes. You could get through those 100 emails in 15 to 20 minutes. However, if you start applying the 2-minute rule as well, and you only apply that 2-minute rule to just 20 of those emails, you've just used up 40 minutes. That's 40 minutes, plus you need the 20 minutes to actually process the other 60 emails. So what you've now done is you've spent an hour on a task that really should have only taken you around about 15 to 20 minutes. Now, for me, when I see something like that, the goal is to get things processed. I haven't got time to apply the 2-minute rule. And this is the problem when you start mixing up the processing with the doing. Now, of course, if you get up in the morning and it's only 10 emails and you've got 30 minutes to spare, sure, you can apply the 2-minute rule. There's no problem there. And to be perfectly honest, once I've actually processed those 100 emails, what I would do then is I would go into my Action Today folder. This is the folder for emails that I need to act on within the next 24 hours. I'm going to apply the 2-minute rule immediately because now I have the time. Now I'm in the doing phase. I'm not in the processing phase. Now again, I can go back to my to-do list manager and apply the same sort of rules. I don't have 100, I don't think I've ever collected 100 tasks in one day into my inbox. But the thing is, I probably sometimes have like 20 tasks, which is on the high end, but I might collect 20 tasks in a day and it's now 10 p.m. at night and I'm feeling a bit tired. I can promise you I'm not applying the 2-minute rule at that point. But if I've only collected maybe like 5 or 6 things during the day, sure, if I've got enough time, I'm going to apply the 2-minute rule. So what you need to be aware of is when you you need to get a little bit more strategic about what you are actually doing. I've talked before about, the areas of work. What kind of work are you actually doing? Are you in, like, for example, writing mode? If you're in writing mode, that's what you're doing. You're writing. It doesn't really matter what you're writing. I mean, prioritization comes into it. But if you've given yourself 1 hour to go into your writing mode, or you've given yourself 1 hour to focus on creating a presentation, then that's what you do. You don't process. You don't start replying to email and you're not replying to text messages. You've told yourself that between this 2 p.m. and 3 p.m., that's what you're doing. You're doing the presentation file. That's what you do. At 3 o'clock, sure, reply to your email, respond to your messages, that's fine. But you need to go into the areas of focus and get focused in on the work that you've assigned yourself. And quite often, when we start mixing up processing with doing, that's when things get messy. Now, I have written about this week, and I'll put a link to that blog post in the show notes below so that you can have a read of that in your own time. But really what I wanted to stress today is always remember what you're meant to be doing. Focus on what you're meant to be doing. If it's processing and you've got a lot of stuff to process, then don't apply the 2-minute rule. But likewise, if you've got plenty of time to process, then sure, apply the 2-minute rule. Now, the final part I want to talk about is more in terms of the weekly review. Now, the weekly review is just that. It's a review. It's not a doing session. Now, you need to be very, very different here. Very, very clear about this. Simply because the weekly review is such an important part of the whole process every week. And when you go into your weekly review, you're going to first step is to clear all your inboxes. That's your email, your to-do list manager, and your notes app. You need to clear those inboxes. Now, you do not have time to be doing any of those tasks. You're essentially making, what is it? What do I have to do? Can I delete it? And so on. Those are the kind of questions you're doing so that you can get those inboxes zeroed out as quickly as you possibly can. And then you will go through whatever way you do your weekly review. Now, in my case, I will go through all my projects one by one, checking that the labels or tags are correct and making sure that the tasks are still relevant. Partly that's what I do in my weekly review. I'm not doing the task. Don't ever do the task during your weekly review, because that's when your weekly review can turn out to be like 2 or 3 hours. And when you think to yourself, oh, I've got to do a 2 or 3 hour review, you're going to resist. You're not going to do it. Ideally, I like to try and get my weekly review down to between 40 and 50 minutes. It depends on what I'm doing in a particular time of the year. But that's really it, and I can get through everything. I am never doing when I'm doing a weekly review. The weekly review is a review, and that is all I am doing. Okay, hopefully you've got some value from this, and hopefully it's giving you a little bit of clarity. Don't confuse processing with doing, because when you do, everything starts to fall apart and you start to resist, and you don't want to be resisting. Make sure you're focused on one or the other. Don't mix them up. Thank you very much for watching this episode. Oh, and before I go, I would just like to tell you guys, if you wanting to get yourself started with the amazing productivity app called Todoist, then I've just launched a brand new free online course called Getting Started with Todoist. It covers everything you need in order to get yourself started with this application, and it can seriously do some positive work on your productivity. So check it out. It's in the show notes below. Anyway, just remains for me now to wish you all a very, very productive week. Thank you very much for watching this video. Now, have I got something special to tell you about? The Time and Life Mastery version 3 course has launched. Now, this course is transformative. It will transform your life. If you find that your life is drifting from one day to the next and that you feel that you're not actually achieving your goals, then this course is going to show you how to change that. It's going to show you how to identify what is truly important to you. It's going to show you how to find what it is you want out of life, and then show you the steps that you need to take in order to get there. This course is amazing. The feedback I've got from versions 1 and version 2 have just been tremendous. It has helped so many people, and I want this opportunity to tell you that it can do the same for you. I hope you will take a look at the course, have a go, take the course, and start transforming your life today. This course will do that for you. Take a look, get yourself enrolled, and hopefully I'll see you in the course.